Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we'll talk about how to do a good PowerPoint presentation. As you know, if you are a student, you are a lecturer, you are doing a business, you have to do a presentation to the audience. So to have a good presentation will influence your audience. If you are a student, will influence your mark, you will get a higher mark. If you are a lecturer, you will influence your student. And if you are doing a business proposal, of course, you will influence the company or other business people. So it is very important to do a good PowerPoint presentation. And in today's video, we will talk about a few simple rules about how to do a good PowerPoint presentations. First of all, we'll start with general rules. Use a slide master feature to create a constant and a simple design template. Of course, it is fine to vary the content presentation, example, bullet list, two-column text and image, but be consistent with other elements such as font, color, and background. That means you can do a mix of these things, but the most important three things that should be same all over your slide is the font, color, and the background. We will talk about each one later. Simplify and limit number of words in each screen. This is very important, especially for students. When they do a presentation, they put a lot of information in one slide. First of all, it will take too long to explain the slides. Number two, it will be very congested, very wordy. You cannot understand. The audience cannot understand what you want, what is your message from this slide. So limit your slide to 5 lines of text. This is very important. Only 5 lines. The other things very important, justify the lines. This is very important. A lot of people, they don't justify the lines. It will be more nicer if you justify. The audience also will be able to digest and retain the key point more easily if it is only a few lines in the slide. Limit the punctuation and avoid putting words in all capital letter. Empty space on the slide will enhance readability. This is very important. You need to put more empty spaces, so it will be to enhance readability to the audience. Use contrasting color for text and background. So usually better to use light text on a dark background is the best, very important. But make sure for dark background that your projector is working well. Why? Because one of the problem facing the presenters that there is a malfunction in the projector. You know that when the projector getting old, it will not produce color very effectively. So make sure that your projector is working very good. And of course, avoid pattern background can reduce readability of the text. You can see that in the PowerPoint there is a lot of background pattern, so better to avoid them. Limit the number of slides. As we said, presenters who consistently flip to the next slide are likely to lose the audience. The good rule of thumb is 1 slide per minute. This is very important. Example, you are presenting in a conference. They will tell you that your time is 15 minutes of a presentation. So please make it 15 slides. You can make it 17. Why? Because one is the introduction, which is you put your title and your name. And the last one is the thank you. This is very important to put a thank you, and also with the thank you, you can put your email for further contact. If anyone interested in your work, you want to contact you, so you have to put your email address, how people can contact you. So 1 slide per minute. This is the other problem, especially for students. Do not read from slides. The audience can read, so if you are presenting, of course, I'm looking to the screen. I can read what is in the slides. I want you to explain to me what is in the slide, not to read it exactly. And the other things that when you stand and presenting, do not look to the screen. Do not speak to your slides. You have to face the audience. You have to explain to the audience. Don't explain to the slides. This is 2 important points. A lot of students that they do it, especially undergraduate students, and it is important to avoid them. Do not apologize for anything in your presentation. If you believe something will be hard to read or understand, do not use it. So do not put a very blur image and then say, oh, sorry, the image is not clear. No, if it is not clear, don't put it from the first time. When possible, run your presentation from the hard disk and not from USB. Why? Because if you run from your USB, from your flash drive, this may slow your presentation. So better you copy to the hard disk and then you play from the hard disk. Very important. Avoid use flashy transition. As you know, in PowerPoint you can put a transition. This is something flying or something. This is maybe impressive at first, but nowadays it get old quickly, so don't use it. Good quality images, we said that resolution is very important, especially make sure that when you put it on bigger screen, resolution is the same. Learn to navigate your presentation in non-linear fashion. This is very important. If possible, view your slide on screen you will be using for your presentation. You do a mock presentation one day before. This is especially if you are doing like thesis, viva, defense. You are doing very important things. You have to practice one day before. And of course, you have to put a plan B because of technical difficulties. Sometimes you go to a conference, there is technical difficulty, your flash is not working. Always back up your presentation with your email. You have two USB with you. This is very important as a backup plan. And also you print out your presentation as a backup plan. Okay, now we will go to a specific points. That was general rules. Now for each one. Number one, we will talk about fonts. Select a single sans serif font such as Arial or Helvetica. Avoid Times New Roman or Palatino because these fonts are sometimes more difficult to read. Do not use font size smaller than 24, supposed to be more than 24, better. Use the same font all over the headlines. Select a font for body, copy, and another for headlines. This is important. The headline should be different from the body of the text. You can use capitalization only for the titles. And maximum you can put 4 fonts in your presentation, but better to have one font across all your slides. Do not use more than 4 fonts, as we said. Clearly label each screen. Use a larger font or different color for the title. Larger font to indicate the importance. Important also. Avoid italicized font as these are difficult to read. And of course, avoid long sentences. Avoid abbreviation. Limit punctuation, as we said, not more than 6 to 8 words per line. And usually for bullet points, you use 6 by 6 rule. What is 6 by 6 rule? That means 6 words per line and not more than 6 lines per slide. There is a lot of rules. At the end of the video, we'll talk about what is the rules of PowerPoint, but this is 6 by 6. And as we said, you use dark text on a light background. It's better. Or light text on dark background. So one of them should be light, one of them should be dark. Do not use all caps except for titles. To test the fonts, stand 6 feet from the monitor and see if you can read the slides. On your PC, you just go back 6 feet and see if you can read the slides. About the design and graphical image, use the design templates. It's better to use templates in Microsoft Word. Microsoft PowerPoint, do not use this is the ready that you download from internet because it was designed for specific person and then you need to fit your presentation into it. It will not be nice. So better to use the official templates in PowerPoint. Standardize position, color, and style, very important. Only necessary information. Content should be self-evident. Use color that contrast and complement. Too many slides can lose your audience. Keep the background consistent. All the presentation one background. Use 1 or 2 large image better than use similar small image. Make image all the same size, same border. Arrange the image either vertically or horizontally. Use only enough text when using chart or graphical image. Keep the design clean. Leave empty space, as we said, for more readability. Try to use the same style graphical image throughout the presentation and limit the number of graphical image on each slides. Resize, recolor, reverse to turn one image into many. Check all image on a projection screen before actual presentation and avoid flashy image and noisy animation effect unless it is related directly to your work or to your slide. Regarding the color, limit the number of colors on a single screen. This is very important for contrast on the eye. A bright color makes small objects and thin lines stand out. However, some vibrant color are difficult to read when projected. Use no more than 4 colors on one chart and check all color on projection screen before the actual presentation, as I said, because some of the projector they have problems. So we'll talk about the rules. We have the 10, 20, 30 rules. This was invented, created way back in 2005 by Kawasaki. He said that it should be less than, to be effective presentation, less than 10 slides, last no longer than 20 minutes, and feature font not smaller than 30 points. The other rule is 555, so it will be not more than 5 words per line, 5 lines or text per slide, and not more than 5 text heavy slide in a row. So after 5 heavy slide, you need to put some tables, some graphs, so the eyes can rest. This is the rules. As a conclusion, to make a good PowerPoint presentation, plan carefully, do your research, know your audience. This is very important. Time your presentation. What is your time allocation? Speak comfortably and clearly. Check the spelling and grammar. Do not read from the slides. Give a brief overview at the start. Sometimes you put the outline. It is often more effective to have a bullet point appear one at a time. Use a wireless mouse. So, or this one, to navigate. Don't ask someone to navigate for you. If sound effects are used, wait until the sound has finished to speak. If the content is complex, print the slide so the audience can take notes. Do not turn your back on the audience. So do not look to your slide, look to the audience. Thank you so much. Hope that the video will be beneficial for all of you, whether student, undergraduate, postgraduate, lecturer, you are doing a business, how to do a good, effective, and powerful PowerPoint presentation will affect your outcome. Thank you so much.